Dasara is the festival of victory over evil. If you have certain few kitchen fears and evils, this recipe is for all of you, because today I'm going to technically make this recipe so simple for you that there will be no chance for any fear. This recipe is Halwa Puri. Let's begin. We're going to begin this recipe with a few pre-preparations here. The first thing is, of course, to measure everything perfectly. Now, this is where the technical begins in this recipe. Equal quantities of ghee, semolina, milk, water and sugar in this order. I'm repeating: ghee, semolina, milk, water and sugar. And for flavoring, I have green cardamom seeds, which I'm freshly crushing here. I have saffron strands, and I have some mixed nuts, which I have just crushed lightly. Let's begin the recipe of halwa to begin with. I'm deliberately making the halwa first so that it gets that time to stay covered. And while that's happening, I'll move on to the puris. What you can also do is make the puri dough in advance and just keep it aside. You can refrigerate it, you can keep it at the kitchen top. Choice is completely yours. But precisely what I'm doing here is making the halwa first, beginning with ghee. And like I said, equal quantities of all the ingredients, which are of 5 core ingredients. This recipe historically finds its mention in certain few religious books under the name Sawa Mapatsa Shira, which means 1 1/4 by volume of the Shira. So when you double this recipe, 1.25 ideally becomes 2.5. But in this case, you do not double the recipe like that. It's 1.25, 2.25, 3.25, 4.25, and then you keep going further. So it's not a direct multiplication formula by far. Once the ghee just kind of begins to melt, I'm going to add in semolina. In this case, this may look like a lot of ghee for semolina, but this is how traditionally shira is made. I'm saying shira again and again because halwa is also known as shira. Again, the same thing is available under different names in different states and different cities. Halwa, shira, it's all the same. Once this semolina turns a shade golden brown in color, it also gets a wonderful nutty aroma. At this stage, I'm going to add in milk, the regular cold milk. And along with this, water. While stirring, we're also supposed to scrape the sides and bottom of the pan, wok, kadhai, whatever you're using. Ensure that there are no lumps at this stage, because these lumps eventually will stay dry and they will stay like these clumps even when the halwa or the shira is made. At this stage, I'm going to add in strands of saffron for that wonderful color and flavor, of course. Freshly crushed green cardamom seeds. I've deliberately added the cardamom and saffron at this stage because I want it to steep in the recipe, in the halwa, in the shira. One quick mix. Let's cover this and allow this to cook on low flame for 3 minutes. Let's quickly check. The semolina has wonderfully bloomed. At this stage, let's take this to the next step. Sweeten this and also get in that wonderful glaze. For that, we need sugar. Again, like I said, equal quantities. Mix this well. Add in half the crushed nuts. Let's cover this and allow this to cook for a further 2 minutes. While this is happening, let's quickly make the puri dough. For this, I've taken 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Well, generally, I always say salt as required, but today, since we're getting this recipe technically perfect, 1/4 teaspoon of salt will do its magic. To this, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of regular vegetable oil and mix this. Finally, water to knead the dough. I'm going to begin with 1/4 cup of water. But the quantity or measurement of water really depends on how dry your flour is. But 3/4 cup to say 2 cups of flour should be ideal and perfect for this recipe. But nevertheless, we'll go easy and slow, beginning with 1/4 cup of water. This is water, regular room temperature. Another 1/4 cup. Let's wipe the spoon off and start kneading this dough with the help of your fingers. Let's knead this into a hard dough. We're not looking at a soft dough at this stage because, of course, we make puris out of this dough. Now, technically, for all the bakery students out there, this method of adding water to flour is called hydration. Now, if you ask what is the hydration percentage in this recipe, it is roughly 46.25%. So 3/4 cup of water to 2 whole cups of whole wheat flour is 46.25. So 185 divided by 400 multiplied by 100. Simple math. Let's knead this. Your puri dough is done and ready. Let's keep this aside precisely for 5 minutes. Under a damp cloth, if you wish so. Off goes the flame. Allow this to rest. Do not open the cover because with this moisture, the semolina will bloom further. That's exactly what's required for this recipe of halwa. Our dough has rested well. Let's knead this one more time and cut these into lemon-sized balls. Let's reserve all these aside and begin with one little dough ball at a time. Now, generally, you would need flour to roll this into a thin sheet, but by using flour, the oil generally turns cloudy and I do not want that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a few drops of the same hot oil on the rolling surface and I'm dabbing the dough into that. Let's carefully roll this into thick puris. When I say lemon-sized balls, you can make them smaller, you can make them larger. The choice is completely yours. Your taste, your preference, your liking. Mini puris, baby puris, regular puris or large puris. Personalize it. Let's fry these puris on absolute high flame. While frying, ensure that little oil is thrown onto the puri with the help of a slotted spoon, and that will help in the puri puff up beautifully well. With this, our puri is done and ready, and halwa, of course, is also done and ready. Let me fry some more puris. With this, our recipe for Halwa Puri is done and ready. Make this for your family, make this for your friends, and see them smile this Dasara. This is me, the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, signing off. Happy Dasara. Bye for now.